Hi there. My name is Casey. I'm from Side Solutions. I was talking about AF Guild a little bit before, but for the purposes of this presentation, I am a member of the GID Exchange. This is called From Ideas to Reality. So who is the GID Exchange? Currently, there are 5 members. I'm one of them. Jesper is in Europe. He's not here, but the other 4 of us are here. Can I get you guys to raise your hands so in case people have questions, they can come see. Oh, okay. This is taken from an old presentation, so. Okay. So yeah, Q, me, and then the 2 Eric S's, so that's not confusing. So what is the point of the GID Exchange? We have a bunch of new people here. Who here is familiar with the GID Exchange? Yeah. So there's a significant number of people that don't have their hands raised. This is from a presentation that was 2 years old also. Some of the goals of the GID Exchange are to create a community where we can share ideas for toolkits and add-ons to LabVIEW. You vote on your favorite ideas, share resources to get programmers and ideas matched up so that ideas can actually happen. And then we maximize return on investment by reusing quality, community-built open source toolkits. I mentioned this slide was 2 years old. There's a slight modification to this. That sponsoring of ideas, there was a component before where we were asking if you liked the idea to contribute money to it so that it could go to developers to help develop that. That is no longer a part of the mission or the workflow of this, right? So instead we have a new forum on ni.com, the GID Exchange, a little bit different from the LabVIEW ID Exchange. I'll talk a little about that. Who is familiar with the GID Exchange forum on ni.com? Not as many hands. Okay, so this is good. So what is the difference between the GID Exchange and the LabVIEW ID Exchange? The GID Exchange is for ideas and tools, things for that that are written in G that you can add on with LabVIEW add-ons, basically, right? So you can add things like project providers, things that go in the tools menu, other quick drop shortcuts, etc. These are not ideas that require fundamental changes to the editor. So for example, one of the top kudoed ideas there on the LabVIEW ID Exchange was font size standardization. So you choose the font size in LabVIEW. It's not really the same as what it would be in other programs like Microsoft Office or just Windows, your operating system. Those ideas need to be done by the R&D team, and so those would go on the LabVIEW ID Exchange, but stuff that we can do as a community, toolkits that we can release through VI packages, those would go on the GID Exchange, so I encourage you to check that out. Kind of continuing on from the open source discussion earlier, the toolkits and everything that we want posted on the GID Exchange, we want them to be open source because, again, we want the community to have a say in them, to develop these tools, to continue them, to maintain them, to continue to improve them as time goes on. And then they would be delivered through something like VIPM, NIPM, or maybe just a link to a repository. That's kind of up to the idea owner. So if you want to go and check out ideas that are currently on the GID Exchange, there's a QR code right there. The URL is at the bottom, so if you want to snap a picture, just go to that, bookmark that. That's how you find that. And I think eventually if you go to the G Central, the GID Exchange is a part of G Central. If you go to gi.gcentral.org, it'll eventually redirect there. Q's working on that, right? Yeah. Right. So now what we have, we gather a bunch of ideas on the GID Exchange. As we all know, you collect ideas, then something happens. Profit, right? But what is that question mark that's in between? How do we get from, in this case, profit is benefiting from the ideas that are produced. How do we get from the ideas that are on the GID Exchange that are kudoed and some are more popular than others? How do we get from that to actually developing them and getting them in use? So obviously, the answer for that is a mob. And the mob is coming for you. All right, so this is kind of the crux of this presentation. It's more of an announcement, and the details are still in development. We're working on hammering some of these out, so stay tuned for more information. But the idea is to start hosting recurring online meetings, probably through Zoom or something like that. I think maybe we'll start at once a month and see how it goes. Again, all these details are open for consideration and modification. And maybe people can sign on for a couple hours. If people want to stay longer, they're more than welcome to. But you can bring your own ideas, or we can pick some of the ideas. We'll probably seed some from the GID exchange that have been the most popular. And we will work on them together. So kind of do some mob programming. So this also encourages ongoing development and contributions to the ideas. So, because right now we don't really have a way to match the ideas with developers. So just keep that moving, features getting implemented. If you've never done mob programming or anything like that, this is a good chance for you to learn. Again, we're kind of going through some practice sessions right now. And you'll get to meet and work with developers from across the globe. So lastly, because some of these details are sparse right now, where can you find more information? This is a QR code for the LabVIEW Discord. It was mentioned earlier, if you are not a member of the LabVIEW Discord and want to be, this is a QR code for the invitation there. Within the LabVIEW Discord, there is the GID Exchange channel. And that's where we will be posting more information as it becomes available, like when these will be happening, links for the Zoom, and all that sort of information. And with that, I think we can start with the cocktail hour, huh? So now, well, close enough. Thanks.